Welcome back, everyone, to episode 32 of the Survival World. I I've kind of been taking a break. I haven't really been doing anything, because, well, not necessarily taking a break. I've just been having trouble finding out how to deal with a little something down here, where we worked last time. So, obviously, we did all this landscaping last time that you see all throughout here. We're leaving that part, this part over here, for later. We're going to do something a little different here, which you would know about if you had been here last time. I'm not trying to gatekeep, it's a long explanation with what I want to do there. But short way to put it is I want a cliff there. But down here, we put a few smaller cliffs, and because I did that here, I kind of have to make a railing for this pathway, at least down at the very, bottom of it. And, I mean, this little bit that's going to hold the tree is where it's kind of going to end. But I've had trouble with it because I think it looks too flat when it's made out of just the same tough bricks. Like, right here, it just doesn't... There's not enough contrast. It kind of looks weird to me when you're looking at this side. I think this side looks fine though. So I figured I'll just go with it and mix some normal tough in, and hopefully that'll kind of help break things up. I just feel like I've made a mistake going for tough as the pathway, because while I really like the texture and how they made the tough bricks, I think they look best in moderation, not just all over the place, because then you get tired of the color. I feel like a lot quicker than any other type of, stone brick. Now, down here, I don't mind it as much, but I feel like that's because you don't really have any railing here, and I feel like a railing needs to have contrast from the ground, like the staircase underneath it, or whatever is underneath the railing. So I'm not too happy with that, but yeah, I've tried every other gray block I can think of. All the stone was too light, too dark, obviously, too light. I tried just the polished tuff to get a different texture in there, and it didn't look great. One thing I've noticed, normal tuff is actually slightly lighter than these two, so maybe adding in the normal tuff on the staircase will be enough, but I don't know. So that kind of leads into the next thing I want to mention. I then came over here and was just looking through all my wood chests. And if you've been watching for a while, you'll know a while ago I lost my netherite hoe. And I made a diamond one, and then I lost that one too. So I've been without a hoe for a while, and I was just randomly looking through chests. And apparently it's been here this entire time. I don't know when I placed it in here, but it's been sitting right there for who knows how long. I wish I was recording when I first found it. I was shocked. I guess when I had lost it the time when I blew up the storage room. Okay, hold on. First, let me turn that off. Music and sounds. The music toast. I feel like it just gets in the way if I'm recording. Anyways, yeah, it was just there. So I guess I accidentally placed it in there and didn't know it was in there. But, now that we're done with all the intro stuff, we are going to be working on that today. We are no longer going to have floating wool in our base. It's going to be actual good-looking houses. Well, good-looking is maybe wrong. That depends on what you think of my building. However, we're going to have buildings there. Houses, probably. I don't think I'm going to do too much with them. I could make one of them I don't know. I want to add shops and maybe a marketplace somewhere in the base, because the goal is to make it feel like a bustling medieval city. But I feel like those kinds of things wouldn't be on this tiny little pathway. So what? Oh, yeah, I'm looking for shears. There we go. And then, for some reason, I also have a second pair in my inventory chest. For no reason. So let's get those. Alright, well, a lot of times I kind of, I like to take people through the process, but I feel like sometimes I also just showcase a lot of what I don't need to. Like, when, you know, I say, oh, I want to go through the process, and then I spend like 20 minutes going, oh no, that's not right, and that's not really what I want to do. So I'm going to kind of clean this up, get the framework started, replace all this wool with what I plan for it to be, and then we can kind of get started here. And that's when I'll actually show the process. So I will be right back, and all of this will be transformed. Alright, I have been working a lot since last time, last clip, I mean, not last video. I have finally come up with a railing that I actually really like. It's still pretty gray here, but I'm planning to add in normal tuff to break up the brick texture, and the lanterns give it a nice pop of color, especially at night. And I just did it by mixing in some slabs here, so that every single bit of railing is just exactly 1 block higher than the ground, and it just looks so much better than the way I was doing it before with just the blocks. I really, for some reason, just completely forget slabs and stairs exist sometimes, and just don't use them like I should. I put in a railing up here as well. It's not going to look like this forever. I don't like the gaps here, but I'm gonna have to work on that and figure out kind of how I like it up here too. No, but other than that, we got in the stone brick foundations for these houses, and I'm ready to add in some texturing here. So obviously, like, just kind of like that, and that helps break up the texture a little bit. Yeah. I'm probably gonna be a lot more sparing with these cracked ones. Add them close to the ground. Maybe one up there. And then 3 more stone blocks right here. Look good, I think. Well, alright. Can't wait until I stop falling down from there. Here, let me go to sleep, because I don't want to deal with that skeleton. Alright. There we go. Get that filled in. There. I don't know, that might be a bit too busy, but we'll see once we add on the rest of it. So, my plan for these, most of the city buildings is going to be, the foundation is going to be this kind of stone brick pattern like this, and then we're going to take this dark oak here, get a bunch of planks, although I don't know if I need those. I really need the logs more. Get that too. We can come up here and let's see. I guess on the edges I'll just do it vertically. Like that. And then we'll go to the side like that. So there's going to be two halves to these houses. And you can see one is going to be the main support, the foundation, which is the stone brick, and then on the second floor, really the only floor, the foundation is going to be more of like maybe a basement, like a small kind of storage basement at most. At least for these smaller ones. Then we're going to have like, you know, the richest part of the city where a bunch of big houses, tons of space on the streets, stuff like that. But this is kind of like the middle tier, because we're going to be close to where the like poorest houses are. We've got, you know, like, I don't know. They're gonna have softer looking roofs, is the plan. Like how I did the moss for my starter house, which I still have not fixed. Over here, we're gonna kind of have harder roofs. I'm thinking maybe deep slate? I don't know yet. And then, but they're still gonna be very close together, very cramped. So you get, you know, kind of the middle class area, and then the upper class, which is going to be very spacious. Perhaps maybe we'll go for some, like, super large, like, you know, 2-acre yards. Now, if you look at this from below, it does look kind of weird. And actually, I want to... Hold on. I want to make, this. There we go. That should look less bad, I think. I don't know. See if I like that. Hopefully, I can make this look a little less jarring if I do this. Not place a crafting table. We're gonna make some stairs. And then trapdoors. And we might have to go for spruce here. But we're just gonna do that. Okay. This is not how I envisioned it in my head. Let me try spruce. Hold on. It's unfortunate, though. I mean, I'll still be using the dark oak logs 100%, but I need to use as much dark oak as I can, because I have far too much. That's, I mean, I have, that purple shulker box down there is like half full of stuff, and yet I still have too much dark oak in my chest. That is what I get for living in a dark oak forest. Alright. Same deal. Where was my axe? You know what? I do like that better. It looks a lot sturdier. Because, you know, the dark oak trapdoors are more of a fancy texture, whereas the spruce ones are more, like, reinforced looking. Let's move that there. I still don't like how low the logs here are. I think I need to move it up one. Oh, well, I might as well just... do that. That'll make placing all the others easier. And this also kind of makes me wonder about how you're gonna get up here. So what I was thinking is, I mean, this is kind of how a lot of medieval houses are built. They've got this stone foundation, and then the rest of the house is wooden, and it stays on top of this foundation, and they go outwards because of how, like, zoning laws used to work back then and stuff. Where, like, if they, I think there's also, like, you can see it in some modern buildings where to get taxed less off the land they're using, they make the foundation of the building thinner. So they're only getting taxed off the foundation, and then they can curve outward up in the air, and then you can't really tax off of that because it's in the air. So they're getting taxed less for their property. And if you go to, like, cities like Chicago and probably New York, you can see some buildings like that. And they also used to do that back in medieval cities too. So I wanted to kind of get that. But I'm not sure how I'm going to do the stairs up to the main section. I still don't know if I like that. I wonder if I need to put it out another block, like make it 2 blocks wider than the foundation, and then I can kind of get this going on. I feel like that could look pretty good. What about... wait, not that. What about this? Well, let me just add the rest of the base first, I guess. There we go. Yeah, I'm not loving that. The problem here is I'd never wanted the foundation to go up this high. But I don't know, maybe that is a better height. If we went out one more block, though, how would that look? That would be, like, right there. You wouldn't get stuck on it. And that would kind of add to the cramped feeling I want to get out of this. So, I might actually do that. Let's see what it would look like real quick. No. Let's see, running up here. No, I don't like that. I'm gonna have to rethink this. Alright, I'm gonna look at some, like, inspirational pictures, search up some old medieval buildings, and maybe I can better capture the feel if I have a reference image, because I'm kind of just going off of memory here from what I've seen. Oh, man, I keep forgetting I have haste. I just accidentally used my non-silk touch pickaxe. This sucks. Alright, I'm gonna look at some reference images and see what I can do. And I'll be back when I've found something. Alright, I've come up with a little idea, but it's going to need more of these. I'm going to need to extend the path down there a little bit. And that'll give me some more room to work with. So, I've extended the base out down here. And you'll see why in a moment. Let me just get this all built in. Alright. Now that we have a little more room to work with, let me see, how wide did I make this? 4, 5, okay, 9. That actually should be perfect. We can do 3. And you know what? I'm actually gonna do non-stripped logs. And we go there and there. Okay. So we're gonna have one at each little section here. Every 3 blocks. Alright. You know what? Let me see if I actually like unstripped logs more at this point. There we go. Get that there. Do I like them more here than the stripped logs? Gonna need a path up there. I don't know, because I feel like if I strip these ones up here, I'm gonna have to strip these ones down here. But maybe not. Let's try mixing them. Well, I actually don't know if I like that. For once, usually I like stripped logs way more. I might actually go with unstripped logs here. They just feel more sturdy for some reason. Man, my inventory is already insanely messy. Don't know how I do it. Come on. There we go. Let's make 2 more groups. Alright. So my plan is to bring the building over here. Right? So that just, I mean, I feel like that just makes it look better because we're not so, it's not so small anymore. And gives it a bit of a different shape than if it were just a square. Or really a rectangle. Made out of stone. And we're actually 1 block too long there. And I'm not going to worry about texture, actually, right now. I was putting it in because I thought I was mostly done with the foundation, but then I realized that's way too small of a house. So, we are going to worry about that in a little bit. But right now, we are actually going to continue out here with this. You know what? Going to leave that there. There's my wood. We're going to continue that up through the center. So, you know what? I actually want to use the log there. Honestly, the logs might be better than the wood. Okay. Now that we're done with that, I feel like the logs are just clearer on which direction they're facing, because the wood is designed to kind of be less discreet about where it's facing. so you can kind of use it for trees and stuff like that. So I actually want to use the logs here because I want you to know which direction it's facing, because it's the goal of the log here is to continue up from these main beams. And I feel like, you know, with the wood, it just isn't as clear. So we're just gonna make sure we get that across. There we go. Come on. There we go. And I'm probably going to add another back over here, but I'm going to get to that in a little bit. So, now, we kind of have this nice little under area. There's going to be a floor above us. That'll be part of the second floor of the house, and then an entrance right here. And I'm not going to put it right in the middle, because a common saying is that there is beauty in asymmetry. And I think that holds true now. I like things looking a little messy sometimes, so we're going to put it right here. Not perfect, but not many things are. And I have enough symmetry in my mansion all the way up at the top there. So I don't think we need more. And actually, I think it's dumb to continue the path into there. We need a different flooring. This is the inside of someone's house. Not, you know, not someone's path. I think doing stone bricks would be too similar to the foundation. Oh. Whoops. I want like a stony block, obviously, because it's the basement. They're gonna have a rougher flooring. But do we go? I feel like andesite would not look great. The salt just doesn't look right. Okay, you know what? We're gonna have to go with stone. Even though it'll look too similar, I think we can use... Let's just use stone bricks as the base still. And then we can mix in cobblestone and polished andesite, maybe? Okay, I'm gonna try two different things. I'm gonna try the bricks, but I'm also gonna try the stone. Let me get a few more stacks of it. And... okay. Yeah, that'll be more than enough if I use them. Alright. Really need to start using shulker boxes when I'm building. Now this is a little larger than I had planned for, but I think it should be fine. Because I'll try and make these ones pretty small, and then this one will just be like the big house on the block. Sounds dumb. Whoa! Style points? Just going to bed, I don't have to be that fancy about it. Alright. So, let's try stone as the main block, I guess. And I guess we're ending here. Okay. Not too bad. I think it's good that we kept the same color. I feel like too much contrast then maybe gets bad. I'm just always worried, you know, if I make it look too samey, that's not good. But too much contrast can also be a thing. What am I looking for? Cobblestone and just normal andesite. So what I'm thinking here is that we kind of make andesite the transition block, and then we go into a bit of cobblestone. And then it's kind of like it's slowly weathering. We've got maybe when you're walking in, there's some cobblestone and andesite. Because obviously people's shoes are going to leave marks over time. All the foot traffic and such. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan. Let's try the stone bricks. Really? Okay, well I did break them down. Put you in there. Alright, and here we're gonna mix in some polished andesite. Maybe some cracked. Let's go there. I like this one better, I think. Although I think I'm using the polished andesite too much. Okay, I'm fine with that for now. We should move on. I can come back to it later, but gotta figure out the transition here. That is far too clean a transition. Maybe. Maybe we raise it up one in here? So we have kind of, we have a small, like, let me just craft the slabs. I don't want to go and get the stone cutter. Okay, I don't know if I'll do kind of like that. And then blocks here. Oh, but then that kind of messes with the entrance. Maybe we just kind of taper it here. Oh, a kind of like that. Let me get a polished andesite. And we'll put it right there. I kinda like that, actually. Okay, we're gonna leave that for now. We've been working on the floor a long time, and I want to get to the upstairs. Because I'm planning on using a block that I have really been wanting to use for a long, long time. Because I really love its texture. Let's just stick all of those in there. We might still need those. Actually, we do. We need stairs. Now, while the outside's gonna be kind of dark, I think we should maybe make the inside lighter. I am thinking maybe some birch. Maybe just oak. Let's just go with oak. Let's get that. There's a lot of... I don't want to lose all these blocks. I just remembered about these. Like I kept seeing them. Okay. Let's see, where do we want to put the stairs? Well, the floor level should probably be at the same point as these stairs. I mean, at these logs. So I guess we'll put that there. And then that final... Although, what am I doing? I wanted to do this out of oak. Come on. What are you doing, man? But because of that, I'm actually going to replace these. Because there's not going to be much foot traffic under the stairs, right? So, I guess I should have really waited for the stairs to go in before I added any of the weathering. Because that would have made it easier to know where to put it. You know what? I put this land here so it would be a little less, like, so this would look a little less weird and more covered, which obviously still needs to be polished, but for now it works fine, but man, is it annoying to have to go around it all the time. Let's not overcraft the stairs like I've been doing. Okay, so I think we're right there. Yes, we are. Okay. Let's see how I like this. Oh, one thing. I don't know if I'm the biggest fan of that. Well, I think we keep the wooden stairs, but maybe I can add in a stone brick ceiling. Okay. Let's add a beam in this back corner. See how that looks. I really don't like these stairs. You know what? I think this is where I use the spruce. I don't like the oak. It's too bright. Unfortunately. Not the look I'm going for. Yes. I like that better. Okay, one thing about this is that I've got to figure out how to cover it up over here. Or maybe I don't. Well, we'll see how it looks, seeing the spruce from the bottom. Let me sleep again. Guess I should have this closer to where I'm building. It was back when I was making this cliff here. Alright. I think we keep the stone brick ceiling, because that just looks better than a wood ceiling. In my opinion. I guess we could try the wood. But I like that more. So now let's see how it looks like that. And you know what? I actually like that. I'll keep that. Man, spruce just goes a lot better with stone bricks. Already had the trapdoors. Alright. So, we're gonna do railings here. Kinda like that. And then we go like that. We don't really need one there, do we? That gives it a nice railing. One more there, maybe? Or do we do it there? It doesn't need that. Alright. We'll work on the interior details later. Right now, it is time for the block I've been waiting for. I don't know if I have much, actually. And we'll have to test out a few different ones, actually. But we're going to get another shulker box. Because I don't have enough room. Alright. One is bone blocks. We're gonna try out bone blocks. Another is sandstone. Smooth sandstone. Which I should still have a lot of, thanks to when I built this place. And I do. Alright, I'm not using any more oak. Let's clean up some things first. Okay. I think we're still gonna need the planks, but I'm going to assume I can safely get rid of all the wood here. There we go. keep these. And put away one of those stacks. Alright, we are good to go. Get a few more. And I don't think there's any other I want to test out. Because well... Mushroom stems could look pretty good. They'd be so annoying to collect though, because my axe doesn't have silk touch, and an axe is what you need for those. That should be everything though. I guess, I suppose if none of them work for me, I'll come back for that white terracotta up there, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to use either the bone blocks or the, what's the word? Sandstone. Alright. So we're going to test these in chunks. Well, might just be easier to fill in this wall and keep replacing it, to be honest. Alright, this is going to be annoying to remove, so I don't mind that. You know what? I don't want all these buildings to look too samey, so maybe every once in a while I make one of the buildings out of a different one of these 3 blocks, right? Or, you know, mix them in with each other as well. That would work. However, I think for this first one, I'm not going to do that. But I'll have to remember, that looks pretty good. I don't hate it. I just need to collect more mushroom stem. That's another reason I don't want to do it right now. You know, you saw, I only have like a stack of this mushroom stem. Alright. I think the sandstone is just gonna look a little bit too yellow for me. Still pretty good. Just, again, not what I'm exactly looking for. So, I mean, I like it. Like, I like all 3. I know I'm going to like the bone block, because I love the bone block texture and the noise it makes. They're my favorite things. I will keep the sandstone and the mushroom stem tucked away, though. Because I feel like they're probably going to see some use at some point. In other areas. Oh god, listen to that sound. And that's actually kind of the same exact shade as the mushroom stem. I'm not liking the lines. I will go ahead with it, but we might actually switch over to sandstone. Because with both the mushroom stem and the bone block, there's like a part of the texture is like a line that kind of goes through it. The bone block is, you know, straight and vertical, and then the mushroom stem is horizontal and wavy, but there's still pretty clear lines, and I don't know if I want that for the walls here. But I am probably, you know, I'm going to be adding like flower boxes like I have over on that house, the starter house. I'm going to be adding windows, shutters. There will be a lot to distract from the textures. So, I don't think it should matter too much. Are we? We're just going up from here. That's right. Alright. I'm actually gonna have to go and craft a bunch of blown blocks then. Blown blocks? Balloon blocks? I can't even recreate how I accidentally mispronounced it. Okay. Is it 4? No. This is when I wish I had more space. Really? Bone blocks are expensive. I was expecting it to be far less. Or like I thought it was gonna be just 2x2 for the recipe. I did not know it was all 9 slots. Why? What are we doing making a bone block as expensive as a diamond block? There's no point. There's simply no point in doing that. Alright, well, I guess I'm gonna have to craft up a bunch of this, clean out my inventory some more, and I'll get back when I'm ready again. Alright, I've got a bunch crafted up. Gonna grab more rockets. There we go. Nope, that's gonna bug me. There we go. Gotta take the right bit of, you know, you get what I'm saying. God. What? Oh my. Just broken it with my non-silk touch pickaxe. I keep doing that. Oh, I have another stack of this stuff too. I didn't even need to craft as much as I did. Oh well. Easy to afford more Eyes of Ender when you're this far in the game, of course. I've got over a stack of blaze rods, and I mean, I have an Enderman farm, so it's not too much of a pain to get another Ender chest, but I hate when I do that. Then I look stupid and dumb. Alright, we're going to just take this out. Boom. Okay. I don't really want you up here, man. Really? Wow. Thanks so much for both of the pieces of chainmail. I've got so much durability. Alright. Oh no. What is going on there? Oh god. What have I done? What? Why is it like that? Oh, that's gonna bug me. That's gonna bug me so much. See, I said there was beauty in asymmetry, but this is not the beautiful asymmetry. This is a miscalculation on my part. Well, I mean, might as well leave it. It'll probably turn out fine. So, I'll just leave it. We don't want the house to be perfectly square. That would be bad. So, to my chagrin, I will leave it like that. Now, I think we should add rooms in here, I feel like. I mean, it may not be big enough for that. It definitely isn't big enough for that, but I don't know. I just feel like you wouldn't have your bed in the same room as you may have your kitchen. I mean, this is supposed to be, you know, they're not the highest class, so maybe they do. I don't know. But it's getting late for me right now, so I'm going to wait until the next day to finish this house up. So, yeah. I mean, I'll be right back for you guys, but to get a good night's rest on my end. So, see you in a second. Alright. I've been working a little while without recording on not this building, but kind of just trying to see how these other ones will work that I've planned out here. Because I don't want them blocking the path. But I've had to raise this one up so much for the wood part not to block the path that on this side it's just way too tall. I don't want it that large. So I'm actually going to move this back. And I figured it was a big enough change that I should probably do it on camera. So I'm moving this whole thing. But I'm thinking, like, we can kind of move this back to maybe there. And then it won't block the path nearly as much. In fact, maybe if I only move it back one... Well, I had a little bit of a voice warble there. Sounded like I was about to cry or something. Alright, so if we do that, have it about there, and obviously it's not going to be the planks. I don't know. Because that's still, like, very much in the way. It makes it tight there. We'll have to move it back, too. But that's alright. I guess I'll just have to make more of the rail. Which won't be too hard. Alright. And then there should be one block of space between these two houses. Oh, that sucks. Although that actually... That could be a problem, because I want the roof to go out one block. So then their roofs are going to be touching. Maybe... So, another thing was that a lot of buildings would kind of be conjoined with each other, where they wouldn't really... You couldn't access the other if you went into one, but their walls would be together, kind of like a townhome, or I guess an apartment, where it would be all one building, or not really just one building. It would be multiple buildings, but they would be connected. So I think more like a townhome than an apartment. But say, like, you know, this is one house right here, and then this is another house over here. This middle block, you know, there'd probably be a wall in between there, but then you've got the two separate homes. And I guess we could do that, but I don't know if that's very possible here. So I would have to move that over, and I really want this little section here to kind of be a walkway, because I want to get the nice cramped feeling of some alleyways. There we go. don't remember that happening up here. No? Okay, it did. I wasn't sure. Well, I don't have any slabs. Let me just make them, I guess. Although, I really shouldn't make more, because I think I have, like, 7 stacks of slabs up in my storage room. Alright, we'll add the lanterns later. I think there is actually only one here. I wouldn't put it there, I would put it here. And then, yeah, okay. So, we've only got to put one right there. Now, let's see. I'll leave that for now. We'll work on that one in a little bit. But I want to figure this roof out. Yeah, I'm gonna have to move that foundation to the side as well. Because the roofs are gonna overlap. Which I may do later, but they would have to both be touching for me to want to do that. Let's see. I was thinking deep slate. What would the rim be, though? I don't know. Maybe I overuse rims on the roof. I could try doing it without a rim. I don't want to use black stone. I'll go with the deep slate. Tiles. I'm gonna use no rim whatsoever. Alright. Inventory is getting messy again. I think I'll go here. Let's see. If we put this here, we can have the ceiling like that. Yes. Although, I mean, we could have the ceiling that high up either way. Let's just do this. Because this way, there won't be, like, on the sides when when I put the windows in, they won't be, like, the top ones over there, where the roof is right on top of them, which I don't want. Did not mean to pause it. Now, I get the feeling this roof is going to be too steep. Yeah, I don't know. Oh. I forgot that log isn't the middle block. Huh. How... I don't know how I make it less steep. Maybe we have more of a flat side, and then it raises up over here. Hold Hold on, let me get up there. Okay. Okay. So we have it kind of end here. Maybe here. That's where we do that. So this is the raised part. And that'll be the middle. And then, you know, we do whatever. I'm probably not going to keep it like that, but it just helps. Although, I don't think... Hold on. Just leave it like that. Okay, that's good. Not too tall. And then we can go and get some slabs. I don't know if I have tile slabs. I do. Okay, let's put these torches away. Get a lantern. Let's see. I don't think we need all of this dark oak anymore. I mean, I have more of the logs down there anyways, so shouldn't be a problem. Alright, we've got some more space. Okay, so what I'm kind of thinking is then we kind of turn it into like a slabbed roof over here. So looks like I did not need the normal blocks. Kind of like that. Let's see. Oh! I don't hate that. Something about it looks weird. Oh. I think it's just because I haven't placed, like I haven't continued the walls up, maybe? Let me do that. My elytra's being weird right now. Alright, up the middle with the log. Bone blocks on the sides. I've actually forgotten the bone block's a directional block. Whoops. Okay. And, oh, what do we do there? Huh. That's a problem. Oh, well... Right. But then we have to... Huh. Okay. I guess we'll just have to raise the slabs up a block, maybe? Then they'll be right on top of all of these. See how we like that. Well, wait. Oh. I don't know. I don't know how I like that. It's very... just not good. I'm gonna have to... I'm gonna have to work this out. I'll be back when I do. Well, I figured out how I kind of like the roof looking, but I really feel like it needs an outline. Well, that was... Well, would have been more cool if I didn't fall all the way down. But I had a mid-air swipe on that guy. There we go. So, like I was saying, I really feel like it could use a different block. Because, I don't know. It just looks too samey. I really like my roofs with just an outline around the main block. So, we are gonna do that. And we are going to make it... Well, you know what? I will keep it all deep slate, actually. And just maybe mix in some other blocks to kind of texture it, you know? But once we're done with this roof, we should be done with the house. I mean, I'll have to do the interior and stuff. But we're running long. I really hadn't realized I had taken so much time on just one house. But I have. Wait, let me... There we go. Alright. So I'm thinking maybe we just add in some other dark, kind of blackish blocks. And maybe that'll help break up the deep slate. But I'm probably going to do all that off camera because I've gotten the main part down here. And like I said, we are, well, we are kind of running out of time. Which, falling down doesn't really help. I guess we can kind of do that. I feel like that might look kind of cool. Where is... Yeah, that's good. Actually not gonna have enough stairs. You know, I like the tree, But it really does block me from flying in a lot. It's not as easy anymore. This should be enough. Ugh. Annoying. It's gonna get very dark in this house. Hold on, I've got to put some windows in, otherwise there's gonna be mobs when I come back down here. We'll have 2 there. And then on this side, put 1 there. And I think I'll leave it like that. I don't want too many windows on these houses. I mean, first of all, there's not really going to be much to see there. Or anywhere else that I haven't put a window. And I want to be able to decorate the interior more than I did maybe in my first house. Because I put so many windows in. So I'm just going to leave it. And if it feels like there need to be more windows, we can do that. Later. Alright. I don't know. I want to not have to work on this house in another episode. So let's get some of the finishing touches in. Because I want enough done to where I don't feel like I need to work on it in another episode. But I also don't have the time to finish everything. That looks good. That kind of gives it support. We'll put some there. Why not? Maybe like that? Eh. I think we can do that on the logs. Let me see. Is that too much? Yes. That's that's a lot. How about don't do that. Huh. No. Maybe we just don't add the trapdoors. I feel like that maybe makes it a bit too heavy. Too much for the eyes. Oh my god. It's a disaster. see. I don't mind that. I like the shape of the roof from above. I actually don't like the window being like that. Just make it one wide. I think that looks a little better. We do the same with this one up here. And then we can probably add one right there. Alright. Now, I plan to have the ceiling here. I'm liking how it's looking on the inside. I like the interior well enough. It's just this right here. It feels not good. You know what? Maybe I could try using some of the copper stuff again. Maybe that would give it a more reinforced look. I don't know. What if we put trapdoors on the bottom? No. No, that's not it. Well... Wait. Without the stairs... I don't mind it as much. I like that. I like that. Okay. That's one thing I was able to fix. Alright, I'm gonna go around, polish some things, because I don't really have the time to do it on camera. I don't like going much over an hour these days. Because, you know, it's just very long. And I'll come back when I've got all of the finished little details done on it. And then we'll do the interior next time. And next time we'll also work a little more on the other houses that are going to be around here. And hopefully we'll be able to get all three fully done so we can move on to something else. Because I really need to finish that thing. It's been staring at me for many episodes now. Wondering why I haven't done anything to its roof. Oh! Oh no. Either you followed me in there, or you spawned in there. No. No, it definitely followed me in there. Okay. Well, I'll be back in a second. Alright, I've kinda, I mean, for the most part, finished putting everything on the house. I haven't done the interior yet, because I don't really know what we're gonna do for it. Obviously, you know, there's gonna be, like, a bedroom, maybe a kitchen, something like that. Like a dining table. But down here, kind of don't know what to do. I still need to make this door look better. I'm probably gonna put in an archway or something like that. But I was mainly focusing on the exterior to try and finish up before the end of the video. And I think it's looking pretty good on the outside. I managed to make it look supported without it looking too bad. I kind of like these because you've got the screws which make it look sturdier, and then the stairs go up, of course, and kind of support the log more. And then I did have to break the stone siding here for the stairs to put this here, but it shouldn't be too noticeable when I've got everything built. So I'm not too worried about that. We've got all the texturing in around. I think it looks pretty good with the mixed in blocks. And then I put some azalea pots up, and hung them from chains because I thought that would look cool. So that's about it for this episode. I kind of wanted to get all of these houses down here, all 3 of these done, but this one took a lot longer than I thought it would. And obviously I've got to finish this part up too. So hopefully we can get all of that done next time. These next 2 houses should be a lot quicker than this one, since I kind of know I want to do the same process for the most part. I still need to figure out how to make that little bit look better, because I finally got the roof to a point that I am pretty okay with, but I still have problems with that little bit, because that log used to be in the center there, and it looked fine then, because it was in the center of the stairs. But now, since I have no stairs on this side, it just looks bad. So maybe I'll move it, I don't know. But I will do that before next time, obviously. So thank you for watching, and have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time.